Max's big dream: if I built a school. Max had a wild imagination. He could turn an ordinary day into an epic adventure just by daydreaming. One rainy afternoon, Max was doodling in his notebook when his teacher, Miss Bumblebee, announced, "If you could design your own school, what would it look like?" Max's hand shot up so fast he nearly toppled out of his chair. "Oh, I already know," he blurted out. Miss Bumblebee smiled. "Well, Max, I think you should tell us tomorrow. Use tonight to think about it." That night, Max couldn't sleep. His brain was a popcorn machine of ideas. Finally, he drifted off, and that's when the real magic began. Max found himself in a place that looked nothing like a regular school. Instead of a bell, a giant chocolate fountain at the entrance made a musical plop plop sound. A giant neon sign above it read, "Welcome to Max's Super School." "Whoa," Max whispered, stepping closer. The amazing cafeteria. The first thing Max noticed was the cafeteria. But it wasn't just any cafeteria. There were food slides, yes, slides, where pizzas zoomed down on one side and tacos zipped down another. A friendly robot named Chef Bot 3000 greeted him. "Hungry, Max? Press a button, and I'll whip up anything you want." Max pressed a button labeled "Surprise Me," and out came a burger stacked with donuts, fries, and glittery ketchup. "This is awesome," Max said, munching. The classrooms were floating pods. Each student got their own pod with a giant, squishy beanbag chair and a screen that asked, "What do you want to learn today?" One kid yelled, "I want to study dinosaurs," and his pod zoomed off to a virtual Jurassic Park. Another said, "How about space?" and her pod took her to Saturn for a lesson about its rings. When it was Max's turn, he shouted, "Video games," and his pod transformed into a gaming console. Best school ever, Max cheered as he learned math by collecting coins in a dragon-filled dungeon. Recess Zone. Recess was another level of awesome. Instead of a playground, there was a super mega fun zone with trampoline floors, water slides, and zero-gravity bouncy castles. Max's favorite part? The T-Rex slide. You climbed up the tail of a massive mechanical T-Rex, slid down its neck, and landed in a pool filled with marshmallows. "I could live here," Max said, digging his way out of the marshmallows. The teachers weren't ordinary, either. Instead of Miss Bumblebee, Max was taught by Professor Puff, a talking cloud with glasses. Professor Puff said things like, "Math is a breeze. Let me blow those numbers your way." For art class, a paint-splashing octopus named Inky McCullers helped kids create masterpieces by squirting paint from its tentacles. Homework help at Max's school. Homework wasn't boring. It was a game. Max logged into the Homework Hero portal, where a virtual dragon gave him math riddles. Every time he solved one, he earned treasure to build his own virtual castle. "No more pencils and paper," Max said. "Just dragons and treasure chests." The hallways weren't boring corridors. They were adventure tunnels that changed every day. One day, you might walk through a jungle filled with vines and talking parrots. The next day, it might be a space station with floating robots offering you cookies. Today's hallway was an underwater wonderland with glowing jellyfish. "This is nuts," Max said, dodging a playful dolphin that tried to squirt him with water. The grand finale. Max's school day ended with an epic talent show, where the stage transformed based on what each kid wanted to perform. One kid did a magic act with real flying rabbits, another played drums on giant gummy bears, and Max became a rock star, shredding a guitar made of cheese. The crowd cheered wildly as fireworks shaped like pizza slices exploded above the stage. Back to reality. Beep. 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 Max woke up to his alarm clock buzzing. He sat up in bed, blinking. Was that real? He asked. Then he looked at his notebook and found sketches of the chocolate fountain, the T-Rex slide, and Chef bought 3,000. At school, Miss Bumblebee asked, "Max, did you think about what your dream school would look like?" Max grinned. "Oh, I didn't just think about it. I built it. In my dreams." And as he shared his story, his classmates laughed, cheered, and agreed Max's school would be the best school ever. The end.